So, dear participants, let us start. So, first of all, thank you very much for joining our session, Transforming Evaluation Practices in the Asia Pacific through Professionalizing Regional Standards and Code of Ethics. So, first of all, may I ask you that, do you know what VOPE means? Voluntary Organization for Professionalizing, Professional Evaluation. Have you ever heard of VOPE? Not yet. Okay, so we call VOPE, sort of academic societies or group of evaluation professionals, professional evaluators in each country. So in each country, like I'm from Japan. So in Japan, we have Japan Evaluation Society consisting of practitioners and academicians. So anyway, all of us from those voluntary organizations of professional evaluators to strengthen the methodology and also the practices in evaluation. So first of all, as I already mentioned, I'm Yoko Ishida, president of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association. It's a networking association. And there are 15 members, from 15 countries that we have members, including Mongolia, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia, and India. They are here today. So the first one is, she's a today's lead presenter of Miss Chimgee. I don't read her name now because it's very complicated, but Miss Chimgee she is a lead presenter. And then we have 4 panelists. So Dr. Asela, he is a former president of Asia Pacific Evaluation Association. He is from Sri Lanka. And also Mr. Erwien, he is from Indonesia. And also Dr. Rajib, he is from India. So 4 of them are the panelists. So then, because there is limited time, so first of all, let us start from the lead presentation done by Ms. Chimgee.
Okay, good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining today's session. I know that this is the last session and everybody has different priorities, but thanks very much for choosing this parallel session. My name is Erdenechimeg, Chimgee Ulziisuren. I am founder and president of Mongolian Evaluation Association and also a member of Asia Pacific Regional Evaluation Standards Professionalization Thematic Groups member. So next, please. Today I am honored to present to you APEA's work on behalf of APEA, the work we produced in the past few years and our key initiatives to professionalize the field. So as Professor Yoko said, we have 15 members and serving 40 countries in the region, established to 2011. Goal is really to foster a community that elevates the standards and application of evaluation in diverse contexts. So in 2020, APEA developed this evaluation strategy to realize the greater use of evaluation in the nationals operating in the Asia Pacific, also to accelerate the SDG evaluation. As you see, this strategy has 8 themes, and professionalization of evaluation is one of the 8 themes. So I would like to briefly mention what are the 8 themes. The first theme is professionalization of evaluation, and second, developing partnership for evaluation capacity. Third, strengthening community ownership in evaluation. 4, promoting young and emerging evaluators. 5, engaging parliamentarians for demand and use of evaluation. 6, promoting national evaluation policies and systems. 7, using evaluation to report on the SDGs. And 8, strengthening VOPES. So it's very comprehensive strategy that we really strive to promote, advocate, and use evaluation in our region. Next. All right, as you saw the title of today's presentation, we are going to touch upon the Code of Ethics and other foundational documents in evaluation the APEA produced. So in 2022, APEA conducted several assessments, really looking at where we are in terms of professionalizing in the region. So the survey indicated the majority of the respondents in the survey say either they do not have or not aware of these foundational documents such as Code of Ethics, evaluation standards, and evaluation guidelines. So it really shows that as a regional VOPE, the Professional Evaluation Association, we have to fill this gap to produce and to lead this professionalization field. And the same year also there was another needs assessment to see what's the current status of M&E education in the Asia Pacific region. And also again, the quite majority of the respondents say, like 79–84% say they do not have either any course or training or academic course in the region. So we see that there's a huge demand in this field in the region. Next. All right, so APEA is really leapfrogging and leading the way to professionalize the field, I would say, as individual evaluator, also a part of the thematic group. As you see, we have developed at least 6–7 key foundational documents, competency framework, Code of Ethics, and several needs assessment to really guide our works in the professionalization of evaluation field. So APEA has professionalization theme, which meets monthly virtually, and I'm a part of that theme group. We have, I think, 6–7 people in the group, and we quite proactively work together virtually. Every year set the goals, okay, which document shall we produce? What's the need of our region? So that's, I think, a very good practice. And also we have the VOPE Summit, which we annually, biannually, Dr. Asela, right? Biannually we meet virtually to discuss and comment on the foundational documents our thematic groups produce. So it's a very participatory approach. Whenever there is a development of professionalization work, it's led by the members, and it's a participatory approach, getting all the comments from the evaluate chapters and national VOPEs. And we have monthly webinars and brown bags in which we invite prominent evaluators from all over the world to talk about their professionalization journey in their WOPES. And last year also we launched Asia Pacific Evaluation Journal. I welcome you also to submit abstracts and also submit your work to showcase and share your expertise. Okay, next. So now the next two slides are really digging a little further to the code of ethics we developed last year. So as specified in the needs assessment, 76% of the respondents in that survey said they do not have or either not aware of this code of ethics in their countries. So there's a real demand in that need we see, and also all of the evaluation. Also, we really see this. We contribute as a regional WOPE. We contribute to the professionalization of evaluation function in the Asia Pacific region, really leading the exemplary role to the other national WOPEs. And the definition of ethics we used in the document is, as you see here, the right or agreed principles and values that govern the behavior of an individual within the specific culturally defined context within which an evaluation is commissioned or undertaken. And the purpose of this document is simple, that we really would like to make it as a tool for everyone who is involved in the evaluation in the region, as a kind of a lens to their day-to-day evaluation practice. Next. So the target audience is, of course, the primary audience are the APEA's members and those operating in the region as national WOPEs, evaluate chapters, and everyone who does or commission evaluation. And around the world, when it comes to accountability of code of ethics implementation, there is really no enforcement around the world. However, it's good practice that we put in place some kind of mechanism to encourage it to be used, right? So we have some ideas that regularly we talk about this at national, regional, international conferences such as these, to give the value to code of ethics, and also at the WOPE general meetings, like APEA has annual general meeting and have a standing item on this topic in particular, and also integrate all the principles of code of ethics into all the foundational documents the national WOPEs producing, and even APEA, we will revise time to time the documents we produce, so integrate these principles whenever there is a need. Next. Okay, so we have 4 principles of ethics in this document: integrity, accountability, respect, and beneficence. So Asia Pacific is a region of diverse culture, ethnicity, religion, and all the manners of professionalization of work, right? We respect our elderly people. We tend to become very quiet in most of the events. So it's really that we try to integrate as much as we could our regional context we operate in. So integrity, what we mean by integrity, it's upholding and embodying moral values and professional standards to ensure responsible evaluation practice. The accountability, what we mean by accountability. Accountability is to ensure the quality, usability, and accuracy of their findings, as well as to answer any inquiries posed by stakeholders. Respect. It's quite long text, but the main meaning is that we respect everyone, despite of their religion, ethnicity, hierarchy. And beneficence. Oftentimes, whether it's research or evaluation, we go there and ask all the things. We benefit ourselves and leave the place, right? But it's the other way around. We go give back. We feed back to the people we interviewed, or make sure that the beneficiaries know what's the value of the evaluation. So that's the principles we put in the document. Also, we have these 2 points in the document, how to roll this out, this code of ethics. Having a code of ethics document is one thing, but the very important thing is have to make sure it's used, right? So we try to APEA, national focus, we try to advocate as much as we could within our members, also within our partners that we cooperate. And we have mentors guide, other foundational documents, so as much as possible we integrate or teach this code of ethics in the teaching the short-term courses or academic courses we teach in our countries. So at the end of the day, we are evaluators, so we have to monitor and evaluate what we have been doing. So practically, we encourage to carry out the survey, whether it's being used or whether it's being any value to our members, and then revise periodically, integrating the feedback from the survey as well as the latest context and development in the evaluation. So that's the code of ethics. And the next slide, we are now, please next. Currently, right now, we are working on the evaluation standards. So we hope to finalize it before October, where our next APEA's VOPE Summit, where we will get the comments from our members and evaluate chapters and national VOPEs, and improve, revise, then launch it next year at our annual conference in Japan. Yeah. Okay, and now currently also we are in the phase of finalizing the development of e-learning course on monitoring and evaluation. So it's mostly based on that picture, the document, Enhancing Monitoring and Evaluation Education in Asia-Pacific Curriculum for Academic Courses. So we are very excited about this e-learning because it's a self-paced, free, and very user-friendly format, so it's really filling the gap in the region that almost 80–90% of us don't have this kind of courses, so we are really looking forward to that. Next. So just some examples of ripple effect, how the APEA is a regional voluntary professional organization in evaluation, right? So how it's these exemplary regional VOPEs, regional ripple effect radiating to other national VOPEs, right? So, for example, at our Mongolian Evaluation Association, we established last year the Professionalization of Evaluation Task Force, really having faith, looking at APEA's good example that we believed we can also establish a task force and start producing all these foundational documents. So we are now working on the Code of Ethics, and next year we're planning to do the competency framework, because in Mongolia, people ask, who is evaluator? Because it's very emerging, nobody knows who is evaluator, what kind of competency he or she should have. So the next very priority document for us is the competency framework. And then we just finished translating, and it's published now, this APEA's mini curriculum into Mongolian language. And another example is Japan Evaluation Society. They have Code of Ethics, which was developed in 2011, but now they're revising. I think also APEA has some good effect on why they would like to also revise it, because of the different tendencies in the evaluation community. So they believe that principles on ethics is responsibilities for general and public welfare, integrity, respect for people, and independence. So Japan people are very responsible people, so there is this word responsibility always, in a higher position, I always observe. Okay, the next one. So this picture is our last year's annual conference. We gathered in Manila around, I think, 300 people from all our countries, regional VOPE, national VOPE leaders, And then really our APEA's further direction to strengthen the evaluation, professionalization of evaluation is to strengthen the collaboration with the other regional and national FOPs. For example, IOC, International Organization for Cooperation in Evaluation, this is our umbrella organization. So we are now working together with that professionalization task force. RELAC is Latin American Regional FOPE, APEA is African Regional Evaluation Association, and Canadian Evaluation Association. So we look at maybe shall we go towards credential system, or how can we further bring the value of evaluation in our regions and countries. And another direction for us is providing necessary support to national FOPs, because now we have some foundational documents, we are paving the way, but the national FOPs, mostly they're young and it's a very voluntary work besides our full-time work, so there's always a constraints of capacity, so we can share our expertise with them. And then showcase the professionalization efforts at national, regional, international forums. And the last slide, some key takeaways. So having a dedicated professional task force is really key to professionalize the field in the Asia-Pacific region. Because without having these dedicated members who are passionate about what they're doing, there's really a low chance of having some of these good works and documents to be developed. And also, it's a very good practice for APEA that it really gives a faith to its members, the task force members, to produce these documents and also ask comments from the other national FOPs, evaluate chapters to comment. So it's very participatory. Everyone's voice is heard, validated. And then there's really a ripple effect of the regional FOP being example to the other national FOPs, because evaluation at large in our region is quite new, I would say, and many of the developing countries, it's mostly the exercise of the International Development Organizations, or MDBs. But now national evaluators are coming on the play, so APEA has very big role to do to professionalize the field further. And lastly, always to pursue ways of collaborating with other regional and national FOPs to strengthen the professionalization of field evaluation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chimgee. So again, can I, the last slides? Yes, that's better. So because some of you are not familiar with the VOPE, and voluntary organization for professional evaluation. So then APEA is a networking association among the national VOPEs. So now I'm going to ask our panelists about some complimentary words or some comments to additional comments to our lead presentations. So, Dr. Asela, may I ask you?
Thank you very much, and again, welcome to this panel. Very quickly, we must congratulate Asia Pacific Evaluation Association for doing this important work, development of code of ethics, the curriculum, the competency framework, and also a course is being developed. I think this is very helpful for wherever you come from, the government, WOPES, any organization, because professionalization of evaluation is a challenge in any country, whether a developed country or developing country. It's very important. And I noted that through the survey, it has been identified that ethics, standards, guidelines are not available, or people don't know whether they do exist, right? That is also a challenge, because if we are to produce good quality evaluations, we need to have good guidelines, standards, and ethics for evaluation, right? The other point I want to mention is that now looking at the APEA regional evaluation strategy, there are 8 themes Chimgee mentioned. Some of them are very well connected with the professionalization. Of course, there is professionalization standalone theme. Then WOPES. WOPES are also, for the professional development, right? And young and emerging evaluators are for professional development. And then there is theme for partnership, especially with the academic sector to develop courses. So there are many themes that leads or contribute into the professionalization. So I think there are many things for us to discuss in this panel today and see the way forward and how we can collaborate as partners and move forward with professionalization. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So then, Mr. Erwien, could you?
Yeah, from Chimgee presentation, I think we are in Indonesia. Population Indonesia is fall under the 76%. Have not have the code of ethics, and 72% not have evaluation standard actually. But we are still trying to adapt what the APEA has been introduced actually. But I want to echo what Dr. Asela mentioned, that the evaluation is not only extend beyond the activities or the develop aid program funded by donor actually, but also has to involve the governments to evaluate government initiative and program finance through state budget. So, however, this underscore the importance of credible and capable evaluator in the country, particularly in assessing the effort of the government and other stakeholders in achieving the agreed upon SDGs agenda, because our country, every country has the mandate to submit the VNR, the Voluntary National Review. I think that's all.
Dr. Rajib.
Thank you so much for also inviting me to this panel. Yeah, so, Professor Yuko Ishida from the very beginning mentioning that the WOPI, what does it mean? So let me start from there. And also, to congratulate APEA. See, to start this pioneering work actually in Asia Pacific region. See, look, what we do, the WOPIs, if you look at the members, either organizations or individuals, they are experts in evaluations. They are professional, experts, senior, matured evaluators. They know how to do evaluations. But as WOPI, when you come together in an organization, our role is to develop the practice of evaluation, how to enhance, how to increase the quality of evaluation. Now, many people think mistakenly that evaluation is a technical thing and it's about learning some tools and techniques to implement those in the studying. It is beyond that. It is it is not only individual capacity to do evaluation, it's more than that. It's about building a system, a policy. Then only these evaluations will work. Then only we will understand what are the impacts, values of evaluation, how we are taking evaluation, the learning from evaluation to policy and program making. So from that perspective, professionalization is one very big thing. So it talks about competencies, it talks about definitely your technical capabilities, but beyond that, and the code of ethics, like how you ensure the way you are doing your evaluation is also ethical. Because ultimately, evaluation for whom? Evaluation for people. For people's benefit. So we should make it very clear from the very beginning that it is for the benefit of people. And these kind of steps are actually enhancing the field of evaluation, the practice of evaluation, and upholding the value of evaluation. So congratulations once again to APEA for starting this beautiful work actually. I think it will be definitely very, very impactful. Already we've seen other BOPs have taken initiatives. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So let me say something from the Japan Evaluation Society. Japan Evaluation Society was established in 2001, more than 20 years ago, and we have around 500 members. Some of them are the government officers, some of them are from the donor agencies, and most of them are the academicians and the university professors. So we are, in the beginning, relatively independent, but after we joining APEA, so the collaboration internationally is very important, sharing the information, and APEA conducting lots of webinars nowadays. So we can share what is happening in the other countries in evaluation. That is really, really beneficial for the Japanese evaluators as well. So anyway, let me ask Ms. Chimgee that if you have some comments after these comments.
I really liked Dr. Rajib's comment that what's the meaning or the purpose of WAPE. So it's really that we have to gather together and develop this practice of evaluation. Because now Asian Evaluation Week, the conference itself has the word evaluation, but somebody has to do it. But in most of our countries, it's emerging. That's why we don't know where we're going, but we know that we should start somewhere, sometime. So in Mongolian Evaluation Association case, we are only 3 years old. We established during COVID, because during COVID, all the flights stopped, right? So international evaluators were not able to come to Mongolia. That's why there were many bidding and tender announced from ADB, World Bank, UN, targeting at the national evaluators, but we did not have anyone available, maybe very few. So that's why we learned, we have to establish an association, because looking at the countries, the association really is a bridge to develop the capacity, bring the knowledge, exchanging with each other. So that's why we can create a pool of national evaluators and also help the government to realize that we have to do our own evaluation. It's a country-led evaluation, so that the recommendation would be contextualized. Because we love our countries, we want to have the ownership of what we are doing, what we are investing, and learn from our mistakes, not repeating that vicious cycle, right? So that's, I think, the beauty of the WAPE, that we gather together and develop this practice with the trials and errors.
Yeah, thank you very much. So then, after comments and reactions, let me move into the panel discussions with our panelists, including our lead presenters. So let me ask four of you the following question. Could you please provide a brief overview of the initiatives your VOPE, Voluntary Organization for Professional Evaluation, or organization has undertaken thus far in professionalizing evaluation in your country or in region to make our VOPEs understood by the participants? Thank you. So anyone, may I ask you, Dr. Rajib?
Let me, thank you so much, yeah. So we definitely talk, we are very, very kind of ambitious and energetic people in the VOPs, but we also have our own limitations, let me tell you very frankly, because it's ultimately voluntary work for evaluation. So, sometimes what we see that, we have a lot of things in our mind, but unable to sometimes deliver those. But that's why I was very, very happy and again congratulating APEA to initiate these kind of steps. Anyways, let me come back to India. I come from India, and we started an organization called Evaluation Community of India. This is the national VOPE based out of India. So yeah, definitely we struggled a lot actually first few years to like know how to engage in enhancing this field, like professionalizing evaluation in India, because it's a big country and lot of stakeholders, and to get ownership and institutionalize something would be very, very challenging. It's not be easy, and only OP won't be able to do anything. We need definitely a lot of other partners, including the government, to initiate any such kind of steps. So what we did actually a couple of years back, I think 2023 January, we began, and to first step towards this thing, we created a consortium called Evaluation Capacity Development Consortium of 15 organizations, including the BOP, different academic institutes, UN agencies, different kind of donors, came together and start thinking what we can do in the first step, and we started working. So that was basically a consolidating effort to bring the stakeholders together, and we started working on 4 basically aspects. One, what this evaluation capacity development consortium will do in the field of evaluation. So we have drafted a position paper to clear our position, what we can do and what we may not be able to do. Then to standardize the evaluation curriculums, we have creating, now its draft is ready, it's under review now, a curriculum guidance document. So if it is taught in India, evaluation, monitoring and evaluation as a discipline or as a training kind of a course, then what are the basic elements, what are the different aspects the evaluator should know or should learn, okay? Then also there's a lack of instructors, trainers. There are not many trainers to train on evaluation. So we have also kind of developing a guideline. It's called Training of Trainers Manual, which will help the potential trainers to follow that kind of guideline to develop different kind of training programs. And finally, very interesting, that I'm really very hopefully to work well, we are creating an online hub. And this hub has 2 aspects. One, resource repository. So you will get a lot of resources, these kind of resources which are freely available online. So you will get in all those resources in one place. It's about different kind of technical guidelines and this kind of guidelines when how to professionalize evaluation and what are the code of ethics actually. And also a second part of that online hub would be a community of practice. So more like encourage evaluators and evaluation stakeholders to engage in different kind of conversation and discussions for learning from each other. So these are the few things that we have started in last few years, but definitely we have challenges now, because so far government is not a very active member of this consortium. The next phase is to bring the government on board with this consortium, so they are also part, because without the government it will look again as an isolated kind of effort. So that's kind of right now we are in. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Rajib. And may I ask you that, Mr. Erwien, could you?
Yeah, I think we are in Indonesia because I'm from Indonesia. Our POPE is called INDEC, Indonesia Development Evaluation Community. I think we have the same struggling or challenge with India, with Dr. Rajib actually. When, like Dr. Professor Yongko mentioned, that the regulation is some important in the country, how the policy is like guidance, how the evaluation done in the country actually is. But according to the Marco Segone, I think, survey of FOVE, we are in Indonesia have 28 regulation about the monitoring and evaluation, but actually all the regulation is just only mentioned about the how to report and how to monitoring. So there is no any evaluation effort on that regulation, I think. And then in 2023, based on our index effort with the Ministry of Planning and Development in Indonesia. So Ministry of Planning and National Planning and Development in Indonesia is they release some regulation, but in the ministry level actually about the evaluation. But no one know in the ministry know about this regulation actually. So this will be our homework actually. We are already trying to approach the parliament in Indonesia, but it seems there's no reaction no response from the parliament because there's not being their priority to be maybe make the law about the evaluation. And then in 2015, we also with another FOPE like Malaysia Evaluation Society and the Cambodian Evaluation Society and Vietnam, we also have like the standard in ASEAN. We call it APEA, ASEAN Framework Standard for the, and then we submit it to ASEAN, but it seemed the ASEAN didn't have any response yet about that. And then in Indonesia, we also trying to approach the education institutional, like university and the other institutional level, but it seemed they also didn't have any response on that because they mentioned that we already have the major, not major, but one of the course in their university, like research and everything. So they didn't think to take any buying about how to establish the monitoring and evaluation measure, for example, in Indonesia. But we are still trying for index itself. We also have like we have 200 members actually now, and then we are very active discussing in WhatsApp group, and also we also conduct like mini training, mini seminar, and also sharing session, and also journal club in India actually. But that's for internally. We're trying to make it what approach to the external party like the government itself. Even though that's in our member, it also consists of the government official actually, but there's only from the Ministry of National and Development Planning actually. I think that's all.
Thank you very much. So, Dr. Asela?
Thank you very much. I think out of the 5 panelists here, I'm the only panelist from a bankrupt country, right? Sri Lanka is a bankrupt country. You all may know that it became a bankrupt country in 2022. The president, as a finance minister, he says the main reason for us to be a bankrupt country, failure of mega projects. This is his cabinet paper to the cabinet. And he says main reason for failure of projects is failure of monitoring and evaluation, right? And he gives 2 recommendations, both are related to monitoring and evaluation. One is to implement the national evaluation policy. Sri Lanka is the only South Asian country having national evaluation policy, and we are the only bankrupt country in South Asia, right? So in response to the cabinet paper, the government launched the National Evaluation Policy Implementation Framework of Sri Lanka, September 8 last year, requiring all the ministries and departments to conduct evaluations of selected projects. So from January this year, there is a circular this year, all the ministries and departments should conduct evaluations. Now the question is, yes, this is wonderful news because we have been advocating and waiting for the government to embrace evaluation and conduct evaluations of government interventions. And government realized by itself the issue and why the country failed, and now there is a solution. But the question is that whether the government is ready to conduct evaluations. Why I am asking that question? Because there should be evaluation units within ministries and departments. There should be evaluators. Of course, if you hire external evaluators, there should be internal people who can manage evaluations, right? Managing evaluations also you need to have technical knowledge, capability, ability to handle evaluations like evaluators, right? Of course you have evaluators doing the evaluations, but managing evaluations, of course you should have the capacity. And whether guidelines, of course this includes some guidelines, ethics, but at the same time whether you have system in place, all these questions, right? The good news is that in Sri Lanka we have academic courses in monitoring and evaluation. Now we started postgraduate diploma in monitoring and evaluation in 2016. So we have completed 5 batches now, and recently we started advanced certificate in monitoring and evaluation. So this is, part of our journey for professionalization of evaluation. So we did the first batch. This is 4 months course. And because of the demand from the government ministries, because now everyone is running here and they are looking for training because you go to conduct evaluations, right? So there is a big demand from government ministries. Okay, we pay for 10 people, 20 people. Can you start the course again, right? So we announce it, and starting in 1 month time, the second intake. This 4 months, 4 modules course, but postgraduate is 1 year. And we have also developed M&E course in monitoring and evaluation. So that is also, we are the only South Asian country running. So good and bad, both we are the first, right? At the same time, we have translated APEA curriculum, the curriculum developed by APEA for the region monitoring and evaluation course for, curriculum into local languages. I think you also mentioned, they translated into Mongolian. We have translated into Tamil and Sinhala. So Tamil, it reaches bigger audience, I think, because South India also mainly Tamil speaking areas. So now these are the things we can do to improve professionalization, because now evaluators or potential evaluators, they get the training, they get the knowledge, and also now in these courses we teach about ethics, standards, guidelines, right? So these are important, because otherwise, people can't do evaluations like that. So I think monitoring and evaluation courses, properly designed training is essential for people to conduct or produce quality evaluation products, lead into use. Otherwise, I'm a lawyer, so I became, monitoring and evaluation professional long ago, accidentally, right? Many people became monitoring and evaluation professionals accidentally. It should not be the case. Because I became a lawyer, there is a path. But for me to become monitoring and evaluation professional or evaluator, there is no path. So as WOPES, as governments, we need to create that path. Right? That is the challenge we have. Finally, I just want to, of course, we have another round, so I will add more inputs. Now, we are organizing academic symposium on monitoring and evaluation education to be held in Colombo in December, 2 to 4 December. I will send you this, so you can, send it around. You can also note down the email address, and if interested, drop a mail, and we'll join the discussion in the next round. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now, Chimgee, Ms. Chimgee.
So Mongolian Evaluation Association, when we established 3 years ago, we had our vision statement. Vision statement is to professionalize evaluation, to promote professionalization of evaluation, and contribute to institutionalization of evaluation at national level. So when we talk about the professionalization of evaluation, it's within this national evaluation system. We cannot separate it. So I would like to just give you a very brief national evaluation system landscape in Mongolia. So there's national evaluation system has 3 dimensions, whether it has in terms of political, is there a political will or political documents such as evaluation policy, evaluation act, and another is social dimension. So whether civil society organizations or professional associations such as WOPE, if there is an existence of it, and if the public demands evaluation of the public policies, maybe before they elect the next parliament members, they have to demand the government. What's the effect or impact of that child policy, child money policy, etc. And the last dimension is the professional dimension, and it touches upon whether the country has professional trainings, professional associations, etc., journals, etc. So if we combine these three dimensions, Mongolia, I would say maybe on the scale of 0 to 1, I would say maybe 0.2, because we have, like, political system is quite weak, because we do not have the standalone policy on evaluation, but we have a many guideline, and we have all the 16 ministries and 21 provinces have a many department, but the focus is on controlling, inspection, assessment, all these monitoring focus instead of evaluation. So evaluation is really not understood in the correct way. So that's why there's a huge challenge of separating these two words and helping, for WOPE, we helping, our mandate is to help the government to understand what evaluation means. In this situation, we are operating and really trying to help bridge this gap of helping government to understand evaluation and also bringing the international knowledge from you guys to our government, contextualize, and also giving some trainings. So that's our kind of vision. And what we have done in the past 3 years in terms of operationalizing this vision is that we started from the low-hanging fruits, because we are like accidental evaluators. We are all accidental evaluators. Like, I am a statistician, another board is sociologist, another is economist. So we all come from different walks of life. And then we realized evaluation is important and other countries have evaluators. So now we do a short, like a monthly learning session, and we translate this kind of curriculum of APEA and IPTET. We translated all core course of IPTET and already run one round of training using that core course. And also we have this annual boot camp, summer evaluation boot camp. And what else do we have? And workshops in evaluation, Mongolian evaluation case competition. And we also have this professionals task force. And we translated OECD glossary and better criteria for better evaluation. So all these things, we are trying to do it very unsystematically, I would say, honestly, but we didn't have choice. We just learned, okay, there's this field that we have to learn and have to be quite up to date. And because this evaluation community is very at high speed, I think. So we do not have luxury to be lazy or lay back. So just to really get on board as much as we could. But hopefully from this September on, we have now new board members coming on board, and we will have more systematic way to go in towards the professionalization in the country. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I hope you understand some part of our voluntary organization for professional evaluation. And then APEA, not only APEA, but also the other evaluation societies, I mean BOPEs, they have a very well-developed the homepage, I mean web page, the websites. So if you visit the APEA websites, the curriculum they introduced, I mean M&E education curriculum or other reports or guidelines or code of ethics. Those things are uploaded. So you can download it freely. I mean, everyone can access, and please try to see them. And also the academic symposium, you can get the information from our website. So now, still BOPEs, but a little bit different in the next question. So what strategies the BOPEs and use chapters, because we are very much interested in the improving the competence of the young evaluators. Use chapters may adopt to incorporate evaluation standards, academic courses in M&E, and code of ethics in evaluation at the national level. So not only EVOPES, but from your past aspects, viewpoint, please give us your recommendation. So, which one? May I ask, then are you ready to? Okay.
Yeah, I think WOPES, I did not talk about WOPES last time. I mainly spoke about academic sector, because now we have very strong approach to academic sector. But at the same time, what I want to mention is that, WOPES can play a strong role to mobilize academic sector, universities for the courses. That is one thing. WOPES can play a strong role with the government, right, to promote evaluation, advocacy for evaluation policy and all. At the same time, the WOPES can, WOPE main role is, it's a professional network, right, promote professionalization. So developing standards, competency framework. Now in Sri Lanka, we have developed competency framework for evaluators. We have not started assessment part. As you all know that Canada, they have the credential evaluator program. Only few countries have this. But we all need to have similar programs in our countries. Now, Sri Lanka next step is to do the assessment of evaluators using the competency framework. What are the competencies needed by evaluators? This is very important, because now these competencies are needed to produce a good quality evaluation. Right? So I think WOPES can play this role. At the same time, having generally accepted ethics, standards, guidelines are important. Now, when it comes to Nepal, the national evaluation guidelines are very comprehensive. They first developed research-based monitoring and evaluation guidelines in 2010. Then national evaluation guidelines in 2013, advanced version of that. Then 2018 with the new administration system, they have devoluted system, right? With that, they developed new guidelines. So these nationally accepted guidelines are important, but now in Nepal also, WOPES, government, development partners, and parliamentarians work together on this. So this partnership is important. So WOPES can play a bigger role in that. Let me stop here because last time also I took more time, but others can add.
So then, Dr. Rajib, may I ask you?
Thank you so much. No, I think I won't say anything more what Asela has already mentioned. WOPE, and Evaluate. I don't know. I mean, we have not explained what is Evaluate here. So the people who don't know, WOPE is the professional associations, and Evaluate are the young professionals. They are also coming together, and they are also forming different kind of groups and networks. And most of the time, the WOPE and the Evaluate chapter of a particular country, they work together. Generally, this is generally the practice so far. Anyways, so I think, that the main role of the WOPE would be to develop different kind of evaluation standard with different stakeholders, the government, the academia. In India, there's a huge, large civil society organizations. There are 4 million civil society organizations only in one country. So huge kind of a stakeholder there, because they are take active role in a lot of community development and social development work. So they are also huge stakeholders. So bring them on board. So I know it would be very, very challenging to institutionalize any kind of standard, but I think somehow we have to start it. And process has already begun. but I think we have to slightly maybe more proactive role we have to take. And I think different kind of learning sessions, I think we need to organize beyond academic institutes. Academic institutes, like Asela mentioned, he has become an accidental evaluator. Me also. I also accidentally became an evaluator. I have not studied evaluation. I studied a little bit of anthropology and a little bit of economics, and then came to become an evaluator eventually. Because there's no course. It's not taught in India, in university level. Definitely we need that. So to fill that gap, a lot of other organizations have come and started different kind of courses, short-term courses like certificate course, different kind of online courses. But I think somehow we need to consolidate and create kind of a standard. Like if you teach evaluation monitoring, and evaluation monitoring is also is important, from the project perspective. So we say both monitoring and evaluation. To be taught at different level, not only for the aspiring graduates, but also for the people who are already there in the field as development professionals, for them also. So I think this to bring all stakeholders, I think, together would be the first job, and to standardize the evaluation kind of standards in every country would be good. From COE we have been thinking just planning phase. If we can, consolidated some of these policies and standards that have already started in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, and maybe some other innovative work is there, some other countries, some years back, Bhutan started working on gross happiness index, and tried to create kind of some standards in evaluation looking at evaluation from a very alternative perspective. So bring them together and consolidate and kind of develop a knowledge product for learning for other stakeholders. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. So then may I ask Ms. Chimgee to say something?
So in Mongolia, people are very well aware of CFA, certified financial accounts, certified engineer. So those certified types of designation. We have, I think, 210 members in our association, and many of our members are accountants, economists, and so they are aware of this certification process. So, but then they want to, when they join, we ask, why are you joining the association? And most of them say they want to learn about evaluation methods, capacity building, and networking, professionalization of network. But then they don't know how to click to evaluation. So when we have the informal gathering or like a networking events, we talk their language. So yeah, evaluation is a new field, but we would like to have it more maybe credentialed mechanism type of, like you have CFA and certified engineering, and then they understand it. So in that perspective, we are aiming towards credential evaluator mechanism, which Dr. Asela said in the world there are very few VOPs that have this mechanism. Canadian Evaluation Society, Japan Evaluation Society, they have it. So last year we met Vice President of the Canadian Evaluation Society to learn from their journey how they developed this credential system. They started it 14 to 13 years ago, I think. So we're going to spark on that journey, maybe in the coming couple of years, because in that way it's quite systematic, and we really uphold the value of evaluators in the society. That's one thing. And also in the mid and long term, our association has to bring the master's program, interdisciplinary master's program in the country. In that purpose, last year we made an MOU with the American University, which is based in Washington, D.C., American University's Master of Science in Evaluation and Measurement, because we'd like to learn from curriculum, not to reinvent everything, right? So learning from their curriculum, and also now we have this APEA's curriculum. So bring in the partnership of academicians, and then have this interdisciplinary higher level, tertiary, master's level course at the university. So we already started having talk with the National University of Mongolia and the new government. Some of our board members have very good connection with the Ministry of Education. So we are really hopeful that we'll have some good trajectory to be accomplished in the mid to long term of our association to professionalize. And the last thing I'd like to mention is in July we had the parliament election, and then it's the first time in our country we have minister in charge of MNE. Yes, so it's we feel that it's a momentum. Of course, there's some other reasons why there's this person because of the coalition government and dividing the cakes, etc. But we see it as a great opportunity that we being proactive and really advocate the value of evaluation for the government and the betterment of society. And then now really work with the APEA and other international academic institutions to develop the course, because academic is, I think, the longer run sustainability of evaluation capacity development. At VOPE, of course, we will do our best, but for the sustainable purpose, I think academia is, I think, the good channel.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Erwien, do you?
Yeah, hearing what Asela mentioned, I just thinking perhaps we need to be bankrupt first, and then we can replicate what happened in Sri Lanka, actually, Asela. But it seems that we are in Indonesia is leaping behind the other, my FOPE college actually in Indonesia is, maybe the different political situation actually. But in INDEC, we always try to encourage our member to participate or join in other course. For example, if APEA have some course, we encourage our member to join the course, or the other regional association conduct the course. We also encourage them to participate in that course actually. Talk about the accidentally to be the monitoring evaluation person, that's also happening to me actually. So it's very common actually, because in Indonesia we didn't have any like the course or academic institution to do like certificate for the monitoring evaluation actually. If we talk about relation between FOPE in Indonesia and Evaluate actually, Evaluate we put the Evaluate as our key discussion partner actually. So if the FOPE want to do something, so we always discuss with the Evaluate. For example, we also funded the Evaluate to do the assessment for INDEC actually, and also doing the need assessment or reset for INDEC actually. That's what our relation with the Evaluate, even though many of the people in the FOPE is also feeling they're still youth actually, but not in age actually. But that's what relation between the INDEC as the FOPE in Indonesia with the Evaluate chapter of Indonesia. I think that's one.
Thank you very much. So now may I ask the floor that if you have any questions, or if you are interested in POPEs, but still you want to know something more? Yeah, if you have anything. Yes.
Yeah, my name is Sanat Manangi, so I'm representing Save the Children International, based in Sri Lanka, country office. So I have actually thanks for panel for this timely needed discussion, most probably for in terms of ethical clearance standard and then guidelines. So I have one experience because I am attached to one of the big project funded by the US Department of Agriculture, focusing on food for education program. At the beginning of the project, we already developed the evaluation, and we also selected an international body to conduct the evaluation as an independent, right? And we have to get this ethical clearance for this evaluation. Most probably we need ethical clearance actually in terms of if you're going to publish in internationally from that evaluation, definitely they are asking that ethical clearance and guidelines and standard, right? So we try within Sri Lanka with the several bodies to get the ethical clearance. So then we put application in one organization for the ethical clearance. They took 1 month of time, and then after that, they said that is the out of subject, right? Again, we try with another organization that is also happening on the same thing, right? So then finally we give up that getting ethical clearance locally, and we got only international ethical clearance for that one. So that is one of my experience. So I just like to ask the question most probably for that, in that survey, did you find out the reasons, what are the reasons why the people are not really practicing these guidelines and ethical clearance, and what are in the surveys most probably? And also another question most probably for the is ethical clearance or ethical coding is different thematic wise. For the subject area wise is going to be the difference. Oh, it's the same standard. Right, like a nutrition or education or construction is thematic wise, it's going to be different.
Yeah, thank you very much for your very practical questions. Thank you. So does anyone?
Should we
Yeah,
take few
yes.
questions first?
Yeah, okay. Are there any other questions? Oh, okay. So, sorry, he will first.
My name is Johir Rahan. I am representing from Bangladesh Ministry of Planning. I was very much interested to know from my Sri Lankan friend, he said that you have a government M&E policy, at the same time you became bankrupt. I want to know, that is the government policy resumed before the bankruptcy? If it is okay, what's the legal backup of policies so that accountability can ensure? Do you explain this? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, yes.
Hi, I'm Ibrahim from the Maldives, representing Auditor General's office. I'm an assistant Auditor General. Basically, I have two questions. First question is, when it comes to evaluation, sometimes I see, maybe because of my audit background, sometimes I see evaluation more of like performance audit, yeah? Also in my practice as financial statement auditor, I do a bit of evaluation of these development partners, donor-funded projects, yeah? So what could be the difference, or what is the difference? What are the differences between audit and evaluation, especially the performance audit and evaluation, is the first question. The second one is, when we talk about establishing, these independent evaluators, maybe the association or a society in a country, what's the way forward? Can we have it along with maybe the internal auditors or with the Supreme Audit Institution? Or should it be totally independent? And if it is independent, why should it be independent? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, okay, so then from my side, as for the difference of audit and the evaluation, maybe there might be some differences among the countries, right? But if I talk about the Japan case, so the audit is mainly focusing on the money flow, financial issues, right? And but still nowadays, because the government thinking that looking at the impact or changes caused by the project is important, so during the audit, some impacts are checked, but mainly money flow properly used or not. And then evaluation, they do check some the money flow, but more like the cost effectiveness or some other impact issues are more the focused. That's Japan case, but maybe how shall I? Because bankruptcy cases, so Asela-san will be the last one. So
No, it's a great question. Thank you so much for asking that question. I think it's a fundamental question people are asking again and again. What's the difference between audit, performance audit, social audit, and evaluation? And lot of time evaluators are actually struggling to give a very kind of like, convincing answer. Like, yeah, we stand and we have an additional value. I think already Professor Iko explained the basic difference. So audit is more about performance. Okay, evaluation is definitely performance. One thing you have to look, because if you have a project goal, evaluator should come and tell whether we have achieved that goal or not, and you have not achieved, this is that additional thing evaluation is bringing. Why? Where did we fail? What did we, not only we failed, what did we learn? Can we do better? So it is learning. It is more giving back that learning back to the system for the course correction, to learning, to see. So it is slightly more holistic kind of idea than audit. But that's why sometimes people also criticize that no, evaluation is becoming very like a discourse, like kind of an academic discipline. It is taking that shape. Practice is like is something which might lose its relevance if we are not that. That's why we were talking about this quality, these standards, these credentials, and everything, also to bring those additional values from evaluation. And also like to respond to your second question about like these independent evaluation societies. Yeah, I mean, these societies are formed by different individuals or organizations. Most of the time, what we do generally, and not only most of the many, I mean, generally, this one or two maybe different cases are there, but these work as agencies to promote evaluation, its methods and applications, its use, its learning, also to advocate for better systems and policies, etc. But generally, they don't do evaluations as such. I mean, evaluation organizations, they don't do and conduct evaluations because there might be a conflict of interest, because the people who are member of these evaluation associations are also part of different agencies. So those agencies also might either bid for those kind of like, most of the time it's happening through different kind of bidding process, no? So generally they don't do conduct evaluations, but they can do research on evaluation, and definitely these field building and ecosystem building for evaluation. So this is the basic difference between these maybe independent evaluation offices or evaluation associations. Yeah, I think they would love to add more. Thank you.
Thank you. So then, Ms. Chimgee, you may answer the first question, right?
Yeah. So the question, whether we ask it about the ethical clearance in the survey, right? Well, no, it was a kind of the status, whether the existence of those documents in the region. But it's a good comment that we have to anyway update time to time the foundational documents we produced. So we will keep that in mind. I have another slightly different comment on your question about ethical clearance, bringing the Mongolian evaluation case, evaluation association case. So as researchers, we are also kind of researchers, right? So as researchers, we get approval, ethical clearance from the Ministry of Health if it's research related to health subject, especially if it's about sampling of blood or weighing the children, etc. So anything that's involving the human, then we get the clearance on the consent form, ethical clearance from the Ministry of Health, which is a huge process, right? In Mongolia, the slide, another topic, the thing is, my full-time job is I'm also a research, I have my own company which does research and evaluation. So we do lots of research, and we just finished one research on adolescent and youth health behavior survey, and we had to get clearance from the Ministry of Health. which was like months of process. But then during that process, it was very challenging and very achy process. And during that process, I was having some talk with some of our association members. And she is a professor at the university, National University. And she practices research and evaluation. And she sits on board of some of the research, the clearance committees of the university. And she suggested, Chimgee, the association can establish some form of this evaluation clearance mechanism in the country. Because in Mongolia, if there is an evaluation, there is no clearance. Only the funder, maybe UNICEF or UNFPA, they have their own, the validation, the group of people, the officers of the UN agencies, they have this, just the people committee. They check the methods and things. But we do not have this clearance on evaluation. And I thought, why don't? Maybe that's a great idea, because the more and more evaluation will come, and somebody has to give comments on the rigor of the methodology and all the ethical issues. So your comment brought that discussion we had, and we might explore that process because it's quite a necessary area. Yeah. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thank you. So, Mr. Erwien, you have the Indonesian case?
Yeah, I think same in Indonesia when our FOPE is never do some evaluation activities actually, but that's based on the project. The project, like the member of the FOPE is involved in one project, so they will do the evaluation. So that's the ethic is depend on that company or the organization actually. We follow it that actually. The other thing is about what the difference between the evaluation and also auditing, something like that. That's why in my perception is sometimes it's because people can make a difference between the evaluation and auditing. Sometimes that's the term of the evaluation being resistant for the government itself. For example, like they think that if we call evaluation, that's come with the audit of performance, something like that. So that's why we are in FOPE is trying to giving some perception about that and encourage the government to do it, because we are thinking the evaluation is like Dr. Rajib mentioned, that if we call the evaluation, that means as based on the result of the evaluation is for the learning, something like that. Like that can be like the material for collaborating, learning, and adapting, for example, like that. In Indonesia, we're trying to explain what the difference between the evaluation and also auditing. That's all.
Thank you very much. Then finally, Dr. Asela.
Thank you. I think main question is about this government evaluation policy. Yes, this was approved by the cabinet, the evaluation policy on 26 June 2018. This failure of projects, this cabinet paper is about 2012 to 2022. So it overlaps the policy. But, policy was now, even after 4 years of approving the policy, projects failed, right? That's why I said there are two main recommendations from the finance minister, the president. One is to implement the national evaluation policy. That's why the evaluation policy framework was introduced last year by the president. He launched it. And then the circular, right? So this is a classic example. Having a policy doesn't mean anything, right? You have to implement the policy, whatever the policy, right? So national evaluation policy was also not implemented by the government. It was endorsed by the cabinet, and we were very proud to say we have the national evaluation policy, and we are the only South Asian country having evaluation policy, right? And now all these projects, 260 mega projects, is health, infrastructure, roads, education, all these mega projects, 260 mega projects is a failure. So when in a country all the mega projects are failed, so country fails. And all these are 5.8 trillion Sri Lankan rupees and only 12% success. And if you take, a road, 12% success, I think it's 0% success. Because 12% success in a road is what, right? So, so even now it says 3 years project. After 3 years, the project management unit is set up, vehicles purchased, computers purchased, salary paid, no activity implemented, right? So even no basic monitoring, right? So that's how, the country failed, right? That's why the president, as the finance minister says, failure of monitoring and evaluation, right? And he became the president after the issue, right? And to complete the rest of the period of the president who did not complete the term. So that's the story, right? So this shows importance of monitoring and evaluation and how we failed, and the importance of implementing the policy. Now, I said we have the circular to conduct evaluations, but it doesn't also mean anything. Now, we have started the process. We have to conduct evaluations and implement the findings and take, findings and also implement the recommendations. That's only we can improve. When we improve only, right, project results can be seen, and then you can see some progress in the country. So I should say, it will take some more time to see a good picture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So it's the time for ending, and then actually the 3 questions, it's like summarizing our discussions. So we really appreciate it. And then as this is the last slice of Ms. Chimgee, and the first one, having a dedicated professional task force is the key to professionalize the field to produce the fundamental documents and advocate the field. I mean, having some kind of BOPE or some kind of task force, it's really important to improve promote the professionalization, and at the same time, in the bottom, always to pursue ways of collaborating with other, not only among Asian Pacific countries, but with the other regional and national BOPEs to promote our professionalization. And I think this Asia Evaluation Week is a really, really good opportunity to share the things. And then, so we need to ask this? So.
Maybe we remind, right?
Okay. So, yeah.
Survey.
Yeah. So please make sure that give us your comments or feedback. It's sort of a monitoring and evaluation from your side. So please respond it. So finally, thank you very much for your the active participation. We really appreciate. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.